So let's not deny the fact that these old school graphics, they look so amazing. So what I'm going to do is to give a couple of points in here in which we're going to appreciate this old school graphics. Sprites, trees being sprites, are one of my favorite things because I don't know you, but in newer titles in which the trees are actual 3D models, I think that they try so much to create this illusion of reality that it is lost at the end of the day, you know? So I'm trying to express here what do I think about this type of art. Because of memory limitations, they came up with this solution in terms of the 3D environment that we see here. And what I see and what I believe is that this created this type of art in which you have the ground that is 3D and then you have the 2D like sprites. If we go in this area where we can see much more of them, it really adds up to the scene. It really makes it seem very, very nice, pleasing to the eye. So let's zoom in and see how they look very, very closely. I really like to see foliage in all the games. Foliage is one of my favorite things to look at. So this is my first thing that I'm going to show you. I'm going to place myself right now here at the back so you can see how everything looks. This is away from the battlefield and this is how it looks. It looks very peaceful. It looks very, very colorful. The colors that they used in here are very, very vibrant, and I like that about Combat Mission Beyond Overlord. It's one of my favorite things. The next thing that I want to show of these old graphics are the buildings. Even though they are just boxes, they look very nice. I can see if you go very, very close, you can see that they put a lot of effort in blurring the seams of the textures. It's not like they just put a texture and whatever. They really took that into account. I found the textures here on the roof very, very detailed. Here we have another example of another building. This is made of bricks. So this is one of my other things that I like. There's a poster back in here of two German soldiers. This building is a two-story building and it also has a lot of details here. You can see how detailed it is and how nicely done it is. Let's have a look at this wall in here, this stone wall here. You can see how the textures are very nicely put in here, and even the detail down here of the actual grass. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so we can see the detail here of the grass. I like it as well. Now let's talk about fire and how fire in classical graphics look so nice. I don't know if you agree, but fire like this looks so awesome, so amazing. I'm going to zoom here and we're going to appreciate how this PNG of fire is, even though we know it doesn't look realistic, I really like the feeling of it. Is the feeling of this type of fire is so good, is so nice. and the addition of the smoke going up, how they managed to get away with this effect. At this distance, it looks so nice. I'm going to zoom in. You can see that it really blends in with the environment, and you can see the clouds of smoke going one by one. This is really a work of art. Talking about fire and how Combat Mission treats the fire, look at this. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it nice? Look at the smoke here again going up in the sky. So we really see the effects of destruction by adding this into the equation. It really immerses ourselves in this situation. Nowadays, as I mentioned again, because they try to make so much particles, so much realism in the fire and stuff like that, I think they deviate from the actual thing. What do you think about this? Are you the guy that like to see more realism in the graphics, or are you content with what we see here? I think this is more than enough. It also adds so much uniqueness to the graphics. Skybox are seldomly looked at in wargames, especially because skybox are not meant to be seen. So basically, you are just ignoring it. Have you ever stopped and see the actual models of the units? So this is the model of the HQ. I like how they did it. I like the box shape of the body and how they are like small Legos. I like this one, especially the one that has the glasses on. These guys have an M1 Garand weapon, and the weapon is a sprite, as you can see. It's not a 3D model. Okay, here we have another model. This one looks a little bit tired. I also want to address the details that we can see on the texture here. The texture, we can see the grenades here and all of the straps. So here we can see a couple more. So this adds up for another 2 extra models. So we have 5 different models. Now it's time to appreciate the back part of the American troops. This is another detail that I really like, the back of the soldiers. You're going to see the backpack and all of the other things that they are carrying with them in battle. You can see the detail of the US letters on the backpack, which I really like. So the flamethrowers and the RPGs, instead of being sprites, they are modeled. Okay, mortars are other thing that is actually modeled, but it's a low poly model. But I appreciate the fact that they have placed the mortars. And the machine guns are another thing that I like how they modeled it. Here we can see the pistol, which is actually modeled. I like the fact that the pistol is just a single rectangle, a black rectangle, and it doesn't have a handle. It is amazing how this low poly tank looks pretty much and looks very similar to what is a real Sherman. On the forums and wherever you find stuff about Combat Mission Beyond Overlord, you will see that they had to put a lot of effort on the silhouette. Just by the looks, just by the shape, you can actually, and it's important in a war game to have that, for you to be able to recognize what type of tank you're seeing just by the shape. And I think they have made a lot of good work in here. We see the tracks. The tracks are sprites, but they actually move. Another thing that I like is how the explosions look